Good morning and welcome to episode 5, Project Mercury, and today we're covering HF radio. We've got 4 pieces of equipment to look at today. We're looking at the Xiegu G106 HF QRP radio with an output of 5 watts. We're looking at the PA50 brackets 3, the third version of the PA50 50 watt power amplifier, and we're also looking at the ATU. Now, what I had to be careful with is the ATU QRP only accepts up to 40 watts. So I've actually reduced the power to medium. So it's about 3 watts, going into the amplifier, and it gives me about 30 watts output. 35 watts output. That's if I use the ATU, which I've done. I've already tuned it. We're going to look at the digital mode today, and we're down on 40 meters, and hopefully it'll stay in while I'm doing this video today. Now, a lot of people get the next thing wrong, and that's the wiring up if you're using an ATU and an amplifier. So you go from the HF in and out to the TX on the amplifier, then from the antenna to the TX on the tuner, and finally the antenna going out. Hopefully that's made it quite simple. It's surprising how many amateurs actually get it wrong. So looking at the G106 QRP radio with an output of 5 watts. Quite impressed with it. The sound quality's on it's quite good. I'll just turn the volume up just for a minute. And of course, that's the digital stuff coming in on 40 meters. Hopefully we won't lose it during the video. The only thing I'm not impressed with is the manual. And the manual is a printed off, stapled 24-page manual. However, everything is included in the manual, and you can download it as a PDF, which I've done as well. Things on, you've got 5 menus on the G106 with 4 buttons. They're all covered actually in the manual, which I'll go to the correct page on the manual for you. And there they are there. However, this has the latest, it came with the latest firmware on this one. So section 1, or the menu 1, you access the menu by pressing the button there, and it brings up the menus down here. Turning it will give you the actual number of the menu, like 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. There, as I said, there's 5 menu positions. So menu 1 gives you the frequency and the channel mode. It also gives you the VFO, VFOB switching, your memory channels, and erase your memory channels. 2 will give you all the CW side of it, menu 2. And if we try and get to menu 2 by pressing the button, menu 2, as you can probably see, hopefully, is all the CW, QSK, CWR, CWT, and the CWF side of it. Menu 3 is automatic key rate, the key mode, the iambic mode, and the startup information settings. A lot of it you don't need to touch. You've also on menu 4 got a pilot frequency mode, display mode, so you can actually change what's actually seen on the screen, keypad tone if you want it, and a version information. The increase is actually on menu 5. So if I go to menu 5 on the new firmware, you will see that you have got WFM, key it in again, WFM, BSM, the mic gain, and also now that you didn't have before, TX power. And what you actually have is low, medium, and high. High is 5 watts, medium's about 3 watts, and low is 1 watt. So you can go as QRP as you want to be. The problem, as I've said, I have is because the antenna tuner there only caters for 40 watts, I have to be careful. So I've got to set at medium power, and hopefully that'll work for me. Well, I know it does because I've already done some testing this morning. The Micro PA50 brackets 3, as I said, the third version, gives you a fairly lot of information. The only thing I don't like about it is when you're in digital mode, which it'll show you here, which you have to be for FT8, FT4, etc., it doesn't give you the true power outage. But believe me when I tell you, I'm pushing out about 30 watts. The SWR is correct, as I've been able to manage it, monitor both of them, either on the ATU and also on the power supply there. You also got a reading of which band you're on here. And on here, you've got the power and SWR. Right, guys, so if we look over at the screen we're going to be using this morning, which is that one, just as a tester there, we'll push out. Hopefully I've got a clear, before we lose it all, I've got a clear, just come down in frequency there, find a clear frequency to transmit on. We'll do a quick test. I'll just look for a frequency there. So if I go in somewhere about there, make the transmit and receive about the same, just make sure it's clear there and make sure I'm on an even frequency, near enough. Clear my DX off it. There we go. And we'll do a test transmission, and you'll see me pop up over here. It is a clear frequency. I have checked it. If you look here, I know it's difficult to see with the camera. Let's, no, I'm not going to be able to get it any closer for you. I don't think. No, that's as far as I'm going to get it this morning. Right, so let's do a quick transmission there. So we're going to clear the DX. And we shall transmit. I've already tuned it. You tune it up here, and that's your receive side there. So let's push out. Hopefully. Beep, beep, beep. And somebody came straight back to me on that particular frequency there, as you can see over here. And that's more or less after the first transmission. On the actual radio, you'll see it go into automatic transmit mode very shortly, hopefully. There we go. Transmit lights come on. And the power and SWR is 1.56. As I said, it doesn't give me the true power outage, when I'm in UD mode, which is digital mode. So we'll let this QSO continue. And there we go. And I've got ON3 KDR coming back to me. And I've also got a Portuguese station coming back to me there. And he's got me on a minus 0.2 dB. So we'll just wait for that QSO to finish. There we go. And the QSL has popped up on screen there. I'll just click OK on that. Obviously, I'm sending 73s there. And I'll halt the TX now because that's gone. And I'll clear the DX. So that was a Portuguese station, straight through and straight back to me there. And a good contact, I suppose, for what I'm using. Now, if we go down to my PSK reporter and do an update on that, there we go. And these are all the stations, the long ones, that are actually receiving me at the moment there. Which isn't bad for 40 meters at this time of the day. I don't think I've got anybody in America now. Shouldn't think so at this time of day. But that's 40 meters. That's the test of the Xiegu G106. And if we come back here to the radios, that's the Xiegu G106, the micro PA50 brackets 3 power amplifier, and also the ATU. I might invest in an upgraded ATU to give me the 50 watts, but as you can see on screen there, the maximum is only 40 watts. But it's working. I've just had a couple of QSOs there on FT8 with no problem whatsoever. It's a very simple screen. You can adjust what is displayed on the screen on the Xiegu G106. You can even have a large waterfall at the bottom there and take off the signal if you want it. You can have just the alpha on there, or the A and B as I've got on there. Anyway, guys, that's the HF side of it all in. The digital communications, the piece I haven't covered, is the D19, which is the interface between the computer and the radio. And it's very, very simple. It's a USB lead to the computer. And at the back of the D19, this won't stay here. It's only because I'm actually showing you this equipment this morning. So the D19, which is this piece of gear here, connects to the radio via the accessory port on the radio and the COM port also on the radio. So just two leads. COM port to the back of the radio and the accessory to the back of the radio. You have a line switch and also the USB light on, and when it's actually transmitting and receiving the on the equipment. Let me just show you that again if I can. I'll need to drop it down a bit. So that's the D19. That isn't going to sit there. That will disappear into the guts of the rack because I won't need to see it at all. The VHF is going to sit there, but I did want to show you the interface between the computer and the radio. Very simple. It's like an external sound card if you think of it in that way. Okay, guys, that's the HF side. If you've got any queries or questions, please don't hesitate to leave a comment or on the WhatsApp group there. Next week won't be VHF. VHF will be after the holiday period. We start working on some of the software. Next week, I'm giving you an insight into the software and how to set the software up. People have asked me about the software, so that's what we'll be covering. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed this little insight into the HF side of things. With that, I'll catch you with episode 6 next week, and we'll look at the Raspberry Pis and the software we're using within them. Take care.